Hello, welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, and I'll be taking us through a 20-minute soul realignment process. So find a nice, comfortable place where you can lay down, rest, relax, and not be disturbed. Pure Soul Alchemy is a transmission of channeled shamanic operations through my perception and vocalization of what I perceive what's going on in the energetic grid. We are open in ways which allow these technologies to come through into our physical reality and enact change on our behalf. Allow your mind to relax into the words and phrases that are coming through. No need to try to interpret or ascribe any meaning, because this is a very relaxed and receptive process and experience for you. There's no doing for you. Notice any attempts by your mind to try to hold on to some of these words and phrases, and then just let them go. It's quite helpful to play the session repeatedly. I like to tell my regular clients to play it once a day for 30 days. And I know that may seem like a bit much, but a lot of them have been reporting that they've been finding that helpful. And for some people that doesn't work. So just, find your way with that after we're done today. If you find the session helpful, please give it a thumbs up and click subscribe and all that good stuff that YouTube does. That helps me and our channel to get more visible. So today's show is a shamanic alignment session for positive thinking. We're going to do an alignment with positive thinking habits and patterns, and also we're going to do some clearing of some of the things that get in the way of that. Negative thought cycles like hopelessness, pessimism, worry, defeatism, fear of failure, us versus them kind of thinking, that can be hard to interrupt. And you can think of these as like destructive habits, because we get quite used to them, and our brain kind of gets hardwired, and they kind of get hardwired into our daily routines and our thinking routines. So in this session, we will align with the clarity of consciousness to supersede and overthrow deeply entrenched negative thinking habits. Before listening, focus on the vision of having a new ease and readiness to immediately shift your thoughts to productive and empowered loving ones. So now go ahead and relax. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Really slow down your breathing, breathing in through the nose. Feeling into your body. Noticing where you feel any tension, pain. Noticing where there's any emotions that are trying to rise up or just hanging out with you. Just notice and breathe into them. Envisioning your breath reaching these areas. The consciousness that your breath brings, reaching and immersing these areas, bringing life force and vitality everywhere with your breathing. And allow this to continue as we go through our session today. So we're going to begin by connecting with our divine physical and non-physical intelligence. To align completely with our own core essence. aligning with the fundamental and essential aspects of ourselves, aligning with the earth, the sun, the moon, with our own Mother, Father, God self, with our own inherent creator self, and our right placement in the universe. The purest healing source within us is our own deepest aspect. We agree to serve as our own healing agent and to serve from and as our own ultimate inner counsel, the all that I am. We now invoke, welcome, and receive our beloved Mother and Father God to exact their loving, divine, blessed grace directly into our healing proceedings today. Great. So we're going to begin by addressing a pattern of barreling through sources of difficulty by refraining to yield to deleterious events, charged situations, and emotionally laden responses. Right, so we're doing an operation on these tendencies. The tendency to just push through when we're faced with, I don't know what that word deleterious means, but it doesn't sound good. Deleterious events, charged situations, emotionally laden responses. It's kind of like we run over them and we don't take our time and be with them and choose something better. So that's the pattern that we are operating on right now. Bringing it into awareness, into the light of day. And aligning with a more optimal choice and sequence of events based in choice. Improving and expanding, fresh, clear, open think time. Because I'm processing that through the inner ear, the entire auditory system, including the physicality of the inner ear, the entire ear. And the heart may be different for you, but that's where my body is processing it for all of us. Expanding consideration for alternative courses, improving advanced memory amplitude. So not only are we expanding this consideration, this internal consideration position that we optimally want to come to, but we're also, there's something else that we're doing too. See if I can find what that is. Okay, we're attuning to that. Consideration for alternative courses of action, or courses of free choice, improving advanced memory amplitude, um, and also expanding our ability to increase fast wave thinking, thought processing. Recharging our capacity to avoid long-term, long drawn-out negotiations and skip to the positive endpoint. Sometimes we can get trapped in the minutia of things, and then we get stuck in the story, and then we get stuck in that position of the old choices that we're not happy with. And this process is about helping us to increase our capacity to, skip over all that and just get to the good stuff, get to the positive endpoint. All right, I'm going to bring in this phrase, uniformity of wake-up call. Aligning to the positive attribution of this. Clearing any misconceptions of dread that have been sublimated and which override fresh, clear thinking and override the impact of raising high potential. Great. So what we're working on is, let me see if I can explain this. These misconceptions of dread that we automatically sublimate to protect ourselves. Then what happens is that we are ensnared and entrapped by these misconceptions of dread because they're sublimated. So we weren't doing a healing on these misconceptions of dread, but also the tendency to immediately try to bury them. And then what happens is when we bury them, we go into the same old, and it's like, why don't I change? Well, yeah, so that's what we're working on right now. The dread itself, the sublimation, the process, the tendencies toward sublimation and avoidance and pretending it's not there. And then also the another result that happens is that there's this dread towards bringing in something more powerful and more in alignment with what makes our heart happy and where we want to be, and it changes it into this big monster story. Of course, it's sublimated, so it's just bigger and bigger and bigger, or it feels bigger and bigger and bigger than it actually is. So that's what we're working on clearing right now. Great, and we want to just do an alignment with the ease of deconstruction of some of these sublimated monster stories that we're holding. And nobody's immune. Everybody does this. And remember to keep deep breathing throughout our session. It really helps. Great. Next healing point, creating a success bar of faith. a success bar of belief in oneself and belief in universe's capacity for quick arrival of a new path, new and improved. So the success bar, success bar of faith, success bar of belief in oneself, and success bar of belief in universe's capacity for quick arrival of a new path. And clearing any sequencing distortions picked up along the way. Dislodging from path interference perceptual interface. Great. So I'm experiencing this clearing happening and processes happening along the crown chakra and above. What I'm hearing is the 7th, 8th, and 9th chakras. And then there's something going on with the back of the heart area as well. Great. New innovative tendencies, new innovation tendencies. All right, so going back to what we were doing, dislodging from path interference perceptual interface, dislodging from intricate lockout designs, dislodging from implosion effects from confronting these. Great. Next healing point, creating a positive brilliance engagement interface with life. A positive brilliance interface, engagement interface with life. Deploying advanced perception upgrade into resplendence. Great. And clearing of artificial light frequency response. Diversion tactics, diversion approach. And powerful positive advancement, life impending. New form opening to connectivity to the great beyond, or that which is currently beyond our scope of conception, conceptualization, conceptualization. Great. We're just going to sit and be with that process for a bit longer. It's got quite a powerful punch. New form Opening to connectivity to the great beyond. We're just sitting with that one. Allowing that process to do its thing. Powerful life interface. Great. Next healing point, withdrawing the sublimation of relevance. And my sense is that that's referring to more about self-image and positive self-esteem. I matter kind of thing. And my well-being and happiness is beyond relevant. It's darn right important and necessary. So withdrawing the sublimation of all that. And that goes, I think it goes back around to the first thing we were hitting on, which was, I can't even remember. That barreling through and pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps and just plowing through things, and overriding our sensibilities, our feelings, and sometimes that's necessary. But when that becomes like a norm and a default, then that can be destructive. So along those lines, we are withdrawing the sublimation of our own relevance, as well as relevance of the higher good. Opening to a whole host of friendship opportunities that spark divine knowership. And this could be, it can be any kind of friendship with yourself, friendship with the divine, with God, friendship with universal goodness, friendship with positive outcomes, friendship with having good things happen to you, good things come to you. Healing from unwelcomed guesses. Okay, yeah, so healing from unwelcomed guesses that do more harm than good. I have no idea what that's referring to, but we're clearing for it. Great, I want to include those of your own, and then those from other people, and then those from unknown sources or non-perceived sources. Awakening thought potential logic with good faith Adventist. And it's not in the typical sense of that definition. Advent, I looked up the definition before we did this. Advent, the definition is the arrival of a notable person, thing, or event. So Adventist, someone who is, I guess, attuned to the expectation and awareness of the arrival of a notable person, thing, or event. So awakening thought potential, logic with good faith Adventist. right, so we're now bringing our session to a close. Thank you so much for tuning into Pure Soul Alchemy. If you found this session helpful, please click those buttons so that more people can find me. And I highly recommend that you listen to this session repeatedly. That will help deepen the effects of the session and take the healing further. To schedule an individual one-on-one session or for more information, please visit www.puresoulalchemy.com. Thank you so much and have a good day.